Hello everyone and welcome back to my crafting world. My name is Anna. Yesterday I did a live showing you how to make this a floating picture frame, and I was told by someone that they just cannot find it, so I thought, you know what, let me just make another one. It's a little I won't do it live, but it'll be a little easier for me to do. So what you are going to need for this picture frame, you need 2 pieces of chipboard that are 9 by 7. So those are my 2 pieces of chipboard, and I'll tell you how to measure that in a second. You need 2 pieces of acetate, one for the front and one for the back. You need 2 pieces at 7 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then what we're going to use for the little easel, you need a piece of cardstock, and this one's thicker than the craft color because it needs to be sturdy. So this one is 9 inches long by 2 inches wide, and you need your cardstock, whatever you're going to wrap the front part of your frame with. And that needs to be 8 by 10. So I'm going to use again the Eclectic Charm by Blue Fern Studios, and I'm going to use this for my front, okay? And then one more thing that you're going to need is another strip of the same pattern. If you use this side, you need this pattern. If you use this side, you need this pattern. So you're going to face the patterns the same way. You need another one that is 9 by 2, and this is probably going to be cut off a little bit, but we'll do that when we get there. So the first thing we need to do is you need to mark your opening for your picture frame. So all I did was, after I cut my chipboard 9 by 7, I measured 1 inch from each of the sides, okay, and then mark all the way around. So I measured a few spots and then just went ahead and drew my line and made my opening for my picture frame. So after that, I took my cutter, my paper trimmer, and I cut along that line on my paper cutter, on my trimmer. So I'm going to do that. And all I did was place it right on that cut line, and then and simply cut. This chipboard is 30 points, I guess is how they measure it. And so I can cut it with my trimmer. So if you don't have chipboard, all you have to do is get yourself some 110-pound cardstock and maybe glue 2 of those together. Make sure that's right. Glue 2 of those together, and that'll be great. You can work with that. So let me continue cutting this all the way around. And see, I went a little bit crooked there, and that's okay. It's not gonna be that noticeable. It's not gonna be noticeable, period, because it was only just a hair. Okay, so that is the front frame of our first chipboard piece. And then just the second piece, all I did was put them together, traced around the front, or the first one, to get the same placing. To get it even, to where my openings are going to be even. Okay, so since I've measured this way, I'm gonna mark, just put a little circle right there on the top. put another one right here. That way when I do put them together, I know what side I measured, and if one is off a little bit, the back one will be off a little bit as well, so they will match. Now I go ahead and take my paper trimmer and do the same thing. Okay, there's my second one, and they should fit nearly perfect. So since this one on this end is a little bit shorter, I'm going to use this one for my back. Let me move this. Let me see. There we go. So I'm going to use this for my front. So I'm going to put a front right there. Okay, and then I'm going to put back over here, so that way I don't get them mixed up. Although we're going to start working on this one right now. So you move the back one out of the way, and you take your paper that you're going to cover it with. So this is my front, and it's going to go, this is my front, so I'm going to turn it around, and this is my front, so they have to face the same way. So I am going to glue this all the way around. Okay, what we're going to do next is we are going to cut this out with the X-Acto knife. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Tim Holtz ruler because it's got the little edge there with the steel. And I'm going to sit down for this, guys, because I feel like I need to be a little close to this so I don't, you know, so I don't cut my hands off or fingers. Let me make sure I stay in frame for you guys. So I'm going to put my ruler down right there, right at the edge. I'm going to take my X-Acto. You know what? Let me see if this one might be a little bit sharper. This is the finger blade. Okay, yeah, that went all the way through. Okay, so let me do all four sides. All right, guys, there we go. There's that. And that looks really good. It looks better than the one I did yesterday. Okay, so move that aside. So what we're going to do next is we are going to wrap this as if we were wrapping a mini album. So cut your corners at an angle. And I'm not worried about this because they're so thin. The chipboard is thin. I don't think, I hope I don't mess it up. Okay, so let me get my tool here and just do a, you know, a little bit of scoring here so it'll fold a little easier. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and glue these flaps down. There we go, guys. Now what we need to do is put our acetate on there, and for that I'm going to use some red line tape because it's nice and strong. So our acetate is going to go right here. Okay. All right, guys, I think that went down straight, not warped. And make sure it's down all the way as securely as you can get it. Alrighty, and I forgot what side is my top and which one's the bottom, so let me get my I think it goes this way. Okay, now we're going to put our acetate on this piece as well. All right, guys, acetate on both sides, and we are going to glue this on top of this. So the opening of our picture frame is going to be at the bottom. So when we put our pictures in there, we're going to have to slip our fingers in there, some tweezers or something, and I'll show you how to do that. Don't want to get too close to the acetate to the end of the picture frame, because then your glue will ooze over and it's not going to look pretty. So you want to get some glue on there, but not too much. So I'm going to go down just up to right here, and then I'll start back up right there. You want to have plenty of adhesive on there so that it doesn't come apart. Okay, and then we take our back piece and we sandwich these together. Make sure that they are, I'm going to use my little trusty rag here, put them together and just see how I got a little bit of glue, and you can see it from this side. You can hardly see it from this side, but that's why you don't want to get too close to the edge on your, and you can just use some double-sided tape if you want to get right up to those edges. And already that looks beautiful. And just make sure your acetate is, you know, as clean as you can get it, so it doesn't show through, because it's going to show through, you know, not too terribly bad. But oh my gosh, that looks better than my cut yesterday. I think yesterday I didn't use the finger blade, and maybe this is what you need to use, as long as it's a very sharp instrument that you're using. Okay, now what we're going to do next is we're going to attach the little, you know, easel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scoreboard and I'm going to score this. I'm just going to show you this way. I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch. Guys, you have to score really, really hard if you're going to use thick chipboard for this. So I'm scoring really, really hard. So yesterday I went off the grid. So I'm going to flip it over, score again. This time not as hard. I don't want to, you know, tear my paper, because it is going to tear a little bit. So there's that. And we need to carefully fold this. I don't know what side I want to fold it to. Fold it down. Slowly. Okay, and like I said, yes, the paper, your cardstock is going to, tear a little bit, but it's not too terribly bad. Okay, so the next thing we do is we take, I forgot that part, we take a Let me cut this. I didn't want to cut this, but I will. A piece of pattern paper that you're using, and cut a 2-inch strip. Let me just cut a couple of inches off. Let me just cut off a Alright guys, this is 2 by 1.5, and we are going to put half of it under here and the other half, and it's bigger than I need. I just want to make sure that I don't go too short. And get my picture frame back. Remember, the one with the opening is your bottom. So I need to glue this down, and then let me fold it. Okay, we're gonna glue this down. Let me trim this down a little bit because I don't want it to show from the other side. I just want as much as I can get on here so that it doesn't come off. So we're gonna glue this down this way, and then we are going to glue our easel down on top of it this way. Okay? So you're gonna be short on the bottom, but that's okay. That's gonna help the easel stand at the right angle. So let me glue these two together. And notice I am using the pattern that matches this, because a little bit is gonna show, so you want it to be the same pattern. At least I do. So yesterday I did not glue this down. Kind of still don't want to. I was gonna glue it down right now, but I still don't want to. I'm gonna let that dry for just a little bit. While yesterday I did use ribbon for this, today I'm going to use seam binding. And I'm probably gonna get about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 inches worth, okay? Maybe 5.5, 6. Doesn't matter much. Okay, and while that is drying, while this is drying, I'm going to let it dry. While that is drying, I am going to glue this down to the center of my frame, which is right there. So I know it's a center because the zero's right there. I have 3.5 on this side, 3.5 on the other. So I know that's the center. So hopefully this lands in the center. Yep. Okay. So let me glue that down. It's a little more wrinkled than I want it. So all I'm doing is running my scissors on it so it'll straighten out just a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to glue this down as high up as I can without it being actually visible from the front. So I'm going to glue that down. Okay guys, and so that, if I want that to stay down, so I am going to get a strip of purple paper, and I'm not going to cover the entire thing, but I am going to cover that much. Okay, you can, if you want to, you can do 1-inch strips. I just don't trust myself that I will you know, get it on like straight. So mine are 3/4 of an inch, and I won't do the 3 inches unless I'm going to give it away. If I'm going to give it away, yes, I'm going to do the best that I can to do the 1-inch strip. I'm going to do the best I can to make it fit, you know. But this honestly is just to secure that seam binding down. It does play a vital role for our easel. You know what? I am going to glue this down. And I am going to glue a strip across this way to secure this piece down. Oh, see, my glue ran. Put a little strip on there. Cut a little bit off. And I'm doing that just to make it a little more even, guys. It doesn't, you don't have to put that on the back. That's just, you know, I mean, but if you're going to do this, I mean, at least go the 1 inch so it'll look a little bit better. I mean, who visits you and looks at the back of your picture frames, right? Maybe I'll do another one and I'll do everything just perfectly aligned so you can see what it actually looks like. And I'm going to do one last one, and I'm going to go from one end to the other, just to secure that down a little bit more. All right, guys, here's our easel, and we need to see how far up we are going to put our seam binding at. You can see the seam binding here, and I'm just measuring. I think I wanted about 4 inches, I believe is what I had yesterday. So my back, the easel is laying on that line right there. Sorry, this is just a piece, and it's about 4 inches right there, a little bit more. So this is where I am going to glue down my seam binding, okay? So I am going to glue it down right there. It's about even with the other one. So I'm going to hold my finger there for a little bit. And I'm going to cut off the excess. There we go. Okay, now what we need to do, I'm not gonna let it, now what we need to do is take this 2-inch strip that we had cut and make sure that it's going to fit right here. And it looks like I'm gonna have to cut off a little bit. Let me see what a little bit is right here. I'm measuring from this end. Cut off about right there. Okay, so cut off a little bit right there, and make sure this is going to fit right here, and I don't have to cut off anymore. No, I think that's going to be good. See how the easel shows a little bit? Once you put your picture on there, it won't show as much, but you want to make sure that it has the same look as the front of your picture. I mean, the front of your frame. Just cut off a sliver more. I don't know why, because it would look jagged to me, so I cut just a little bit off. So I'm putting glue on the back of this. And then right now when I glue it down, I'm going to start at the bottom, because the bottom is a little more important than the top. The top is not going to show the very top. So I want to make sure that the bottom is on there correctly. I'm going to put a little more glue right here on top of my seam binding. Alright guys, and then just press it down. Make sure it's nice and secure. And there you have your floating picture frame, guys. And I'm going to cut this down. I'm going to show you what I did yesterday. Let me cut it down. I cut this down to 4x6, and let me show you how. This is still wet, so I don't want to play with it too much. But this is the opening. This is why we did not glue down this right there. So this is the opening. Let's say this is our picture. Yesterday I used mine as a mat for the actual picture. And then you put it in there. You position it where you want it. And you can use, I used tweezers yesterday after the tutorial. Okay, so you put it where you want it. And then yesterday I showed you guys that I just put a tiny little strip of double adhesive on the back of the mat, and that holds it in place. So I don't know if this is going to stay in place, but there we go. There you go, guys. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to decorate this one and put a picture in this one as well. So there you go, guys. I wanted to make sure that you had a clear understanding on how this was made yesterday. Yesterday I didn't put anything on the back of this either. So again, it's the back. I mean, yes, we could make it look a lot better. Yes, I absolutely agree, because I know I hear some of you saying, well, we can make it look better, and yes, we can. But for video purposes, I am going to call this done. Okay, guys? So you can lay it flat. Once you're ready to put it out, there you go. And you can make it match any of your projects. If you make a little box, use the same paper, and I'm thinking, I have leftovers from yesterday. I'm thinking I'm going to make a smaller one, but the style is going to be a little bit different. So anyway, guys, I wanted to make sure you understood how to make that, because they are so much fun. They're really fast. You can make these like for teachers, for a quick birthday gift, if you want to give somebody a picture that they don't have. Do that and put a picture in here, and look how gorgeous that mat looks. So yeah, I'm going to put a picture. I'm going to leave that as the mat. And then yesterday I suggested, if you don't like the way that looks, which, I mean, you can see just a little bit of it if you look closely. But if you don't like the way it looks, take a little piece of double-sided tape, pinch it on there, and it'll remain closed, But anyway, that is my project tutorial for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to leave you the link in the description box for your discount code for ASC craft supplies. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Love you all. Have a great day.